Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive economic mystery. When you think of a booming industrial hub, you're probably picturing, giant mega factories or towering corporate headquarters owned by a single massive entity, right? Well, scratch that. We're looking at Coimbatore, a city down in southern India that literally broke all the rules. They engineered a totally different path to wealth, one built on a huge decentralized network of everyday businesses. Honestly, once you understand how this works, it kind of changes everything you thought you knew about how cities grow.
To really get it, listen to this observation from an outsider who worked there. They said, "I am from Assam. I lived and worked with many professionals from Tamil Nadu. They are very detail-oriented and can manage money well." That right there, that's not just some corporate buzzword. It hits the nail on the head. We're talking about a deeply embedded cultural bedrock of entrepreneurship. It's a place where extreme attention to detail and sharp capital management are basically survival skills, passed down through generations of local families who just know how to build things from the ground up.
Now, you might already know this city as the Manchester of South India because of its massive textile industry. And yeah, it's easy to look at all that cotton and cloth and just stop there. But here's the thing. Textiles were really just the spark. As we'll see, the actual secret weapon of this city, the real engine, is its highly interconnected industrial ecosystem and how that one single industry aggressively birthed dozens of others.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the economic secret, then move to from cotton to complex engineering. After that, we'll go inside the industrial ecosystem, look at a different kind of city, and finally wrap up with challenges and the future.
All right, part one, the Coimbatore economic secret, a decentralized powerhouse. Okay, just look at this number for a second, 109,032. That's the number of registered micro, small, and medium enterprises in the area. Together, they employ almost 716,000 people. To put that into perspective, instead of relying on, say, one multinational giant to hand out jobs, this city has fostered over 100,000 independent firms. It is the definition of a distributed economy. Think of it like a giant web. If one thread breaks or one company fails, the whole system doesn't collapse. It just adapts, shifts, and keeps right on moving. Moving right along to Section 2, from cotton to complex engineering, where we trace the DNA of this growth. This is where it gets super interesting. Notice this incredible ripple effect. Agriculture led to cotton. Cotton obviously demanded textile mills. Those mills, they sparked a huge need for machinery. And building that machinery, ultimately creating a booming engineering sector. This sequence is absolutely vital to understand. The wealth generated from all that agriculture and cotton didn't just sit in a bank vault gathering dust. Local entrepreneurs reinvested it to build the mills. And then, and this is the crazy part, they took a massive leap. Instead of just running the mills, they figured out how to engineer the highly complex machines required to run them.
Let's do a quick thought experiment. Imagine two different cities. City A takes the easy route, right? They just buy machines from abroad, weave some cloth, and sell it. Simple. But Coimbatore, they chose the hard route. By actually developing the machinery themselves, they created a massive, irreplaceable knowledge base. They totally transformed from a basic manufacturer of raw commodities into a creator of heavy industrial capabilities. That deep knowledge acts like a massive moat around their economy, making it incredibly difficult for other cities to just swoop in and copy them.
Okay, let's dive into Section 3, inside the industrial ecosystem, and look at the power of clusters.
So Coimbatore is known as the pump city of Asia, supplying a staggering 40% of India's entire water pump requirements. But to understand how, you have to look at this massive, sprawling supply chain required to build just a single pump. When a big brand builds a product here, they aren't stuck doing every single step in isolation. They lean on a dense local network. You've got one company pouring the casting in a foundry, another one is machining the shaft, a third is supplying the bearings, and a fourth is doing all the electrical components. This kind of hyper-fragmentation is honestly just incredibly efficient.
And that brings us to the magic of cluster economics. The crucial takeaway here is that a local entrepreneur doesn't have to build an entire supply chain from scratch. They literally just plug into this existing web of hyper-specialized suppliers. Take the famous Coimbatore wet grinder, for example. It's an everyday kitchen appliance so uniquely tied to this region that it actually holds a geographical indication tag. There's an entire industrial cluster dedicated solely to making its motors, its grinding stones, and its steel components. Because the world-class expertise you need is literally right next door, the barrier to entry for starting a new business completely plummets. You get to focus 100% on whatever it is you do best.
All right, Section 4, a different kind of city, contrasting the models.
To really grasp why this matters, let's compare it. While a city like Chennai relies on massive corporate scale and a major seaport, Coimbatore's distinct advantage is its dense, inland clustering of entrepreneurial, specialized manufacturing. Chennai is a classic metropolitan powerhouse. It's designed for global supply chains and massive megafactories. Coimbatore, on the other hand, operates on the combined power of thousands of small workshops and family-owned firms all cooperating. It's basically the difference between steering a single giant cruise ship and coordinating a massive fleet of nimble speedboats.
And if we compare it to Bengaluru, well, Bengaluru dominates the digital intangible world, right? Software, R&D, tech services. But Coimbatore proves that a modern city can absolutely still be a manufacturing-led powerhouse. Because let's face it, you can't code a water pump or download a textile loom. Coimbatore thrives on the tangible physical world, leveraging heavy engineering knowledge to produce the actual machinery and components that quite literally keep the rest of the country running.
What's really beautiful about this model is the extreme diversification, as you can see here. And this is all backed by top-tier educational institutions and fantastic healthcare facilities. This spread totally protects the local economy from catastrophic sector-specific shocks, like if global demand for textiles suddenly drops, no problem, the auto component sector keeps the city afloat. Plus, the city is constantly adapting. It's becoming a major player in IT and business process outsourcing, while its healthcare and education sectors pull in massive outside capital through medical tourism and student enrollment. It's the whole shebang.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Challenges and the Future, and the ultimate lesson here.
Now, look, the model isn't without its flaws. For all its success, it has to overcome some pretty significant hurdles. A major challenge is that a lot of these brilliant small firms hit a growth ceiling around the 10 crore rupee mark, which is roughly a little over $1 million US. They really struggle to scale up into massive behemoths. Combine that scaling issue with high fixed electricity charges that really squeeze their margins, extreme pressure on urban infrastructure, and the super urgent need to adopt AI and Industry 4.0 just to stay competitive with global manufacturing powerhouses.
However, and this is a big however, the existing engineering base provides the absolute perfect launchpad for a highly sophisticated next phase. We're talking advanced, high-tech manufacturing. Think about it. The exact same machinists who currently build precision textile parts already have the foundational skills to manufacture aerospace components. The pump manufacturers? They're already looking at Internet of Things connected smart pumps and renewable energy tech. The infrastructure is there. That relentless culture of reinvestment is there. It's really just a matter of leveling up the technology.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway you should remember from all this? It's that Coimbatore's true superpower is its deeply ingrained, self-replicating entrepreneurial culture. The city isn't defined by the things it makes today, but by its capacity to figure out how to make the things of tomorrow. That know-how is embedded right there in the community. It moves from neighbor to neighbor, from father to daughter, forming this unstoppable industrial momentum that you just can't easily manufacture with a simple government decree. Really, think about your own city's economy for a second. Is it built purely on the things it produces right now, or does it have that intrinsic, built-in capacity to build the things of the future?
I'll leave you with this provocative thought about the future of global manufacturing. And I highly encourage you to keep questioning how the cities of tomorrow will actually be built. As we move into an era that demands extreme adaptability, rapid innovation, and serious resilience against global supply chain shocks, maybe the answer isn't building bigger and bigger megafactories. Maybe the real answer is building denser, smarter, highly specialized networks. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I genuinely hope you never look at a thriving industrial city quite the same way again.